Let's make sure we're recording. Yep. In order to do this problem, you have to think of this as a positive divided by a positive. So this goes back to your multiplication rules because it's the same. So if it's the same sign, what do you notice? What do they equal? What's a negative times a negative? Positive. What's positive times positive?
Negative.
Oh, positive. So if it's the same sign, it is positive, right? If it is a different sign, so something like a negative times a positive or a positive times a negative, what are they equal to? So different sign will be equal to a negative. So that's one way you can memorize your multiplication and division rules. Same sign, what is it?
Positive.
Come on, guys. Same sign, what is it?
Positive.
Different sign?
Negative.
Negative. You need to know that in order to do the notation over here. And remember that these rules apply to division. So these are your division and multiplication rules. So what is a negative divided by a negative? Positive. So this is 3 over 2. Is that what we want to find? Is this equivalent? Equal to it? Yes or no? Is this the same as this?
Yes.
Okay, I want you to look at this. Does this look the same as this?
Oh, yeah.
That's the same thing as equal, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's A.
So A is one of your answers, but we have to check all of them because there's going to be more than one answer sometimes. And it does say all. That's your key word. Very good. Okay, now here, what is a negative divided by a positive? Negative. So we have 3 over 2, negative 3 over 2. Is that equal to 3 over 2? No. What about C? All right. So on part C, we put the positive here. What is a positive divided by a negative? Negative. So this is negative 3 over 2 after you do these two signs. Bring the negative down. What is negative times negative? Positive. Is this one equal to 3 over 2? Yes. Is C an answer? Yes. We're looking for ones that are equal to 3 over 2. D, what is negative divided by negative? Positive. Bring down the negative. Is this going to be equal to negative, or equal to 3 over 2? No, so D can't be an answer. So let's look at your answers for this one. You should have put A and C. Just like so. Questions? Okay, next one. Now when you're multiplying 3 terms, what you need to do is make sure you rewrite it. So we're going to rewrite this as 7, 2, negative 2, 3, and then 4. What do you think I'm going to put on the bottom? What's on the denominator?
4.
How do I make it still equal to 7 though? 1. Kennedy, head up. So you put a 1 here, 1 here. Now the reason you want to set it up to where you see all the numerators and all the denominators. What does it multiply? Or how do you multiply fractions? How do you multiply fractions, guys? Do I multiply diagonally?
No.
Okay, so how am I going to multiply it?
Straight across.
Just like this. So let's go.
Yes, that's right.
So numerators with the numerators, denominators with the denominators. What's 7 times negative 2? Negative 14. What is 1 times 1? 1. And then I'm going to just rewrite this 3 over 4. What is negative 14 times 3? Okay, try this out on your paper. Try it out on your paper. You should be copying this as we go, guys. You're not sitting there. Okay, let's continue. What did you find out negative 14 times 3 is?
42.
Negative 42. What is 1 times 4?
4.
4. But if you notice, none of our answers are written that way. So let's see, is negative 42 the correct answer? No, that's only the numerator, right?
Yeah.
So how do you figure out how many times 4 goes into negative 42? How do you change this? In and out. So you're going to divide. This helps you remember how to set it up. What goes into
42.
here? 42, 4. Is this going to be a negative or positive answer?
Positive.
What's the negative divided by positive? Negative. So we can put a negative here. What did I put? Right here and here. Decimal, decimal. How many zeros? 2. 4 goes into 4 how many times? 1. 4 goes into 2 how many times? 0. So this is going to be 10 here. 4 goes into, oh, hold on. Let me write this part out. Bring the 2 down. Goes in 0 times. Subtract 2. Drop down to 0. Thank you. 4 goes into 20. 5 times, right? Now, but I don't have this as a decimal answer. So I got to write the remainder. So it's going to be what? So if it was 10 and a half, what's the remainder? So how do I change 0.5 into one of these fractions?
But 1/2.
Okay, so look, if I have the decimal here, how do I change this 0.5 into a fraction? Jonathan. No, why did I write tenths? 10 and what? 5 over what? Over 10. Now can I reduce that to one of these?
What's you can put it
10 and 1/2, right? So I can look at here, what is equal to a half on these? D. Okay, let's go through one more way. This is the first way. Now, if I have 42, and I'm going to divide this by 4, so this is the second way, which you might like better. You ready? 4 goes into 42 how many times? 10. How much is left over? 2. Over what? 4. And this one was negative, so this one is still negative. And we're done. Second way is a lot better. Yeah. I showed you the long way because I want you to see the decimal answers as well. So how to change it to a decimal. So second way is only this part right here. You have that copied? Copy down. Okay, number 3. Which letter represents the fraction 14 over 4 in a decimal? How do you do this? You got to divide. Very good. So we're going to put in and out to remember. What goes inside, guys? 14. What goes outside? 4. 4 goes into 1 how many times? Oh, what did I put? I need to put something. Decimal, decimal, 0, 0. 4 goes into 1. 4 goes into 14. How many times? 4 times 3 is? 12. 14 minus 12? 2. Bring the 0 down. 4 goes into 20? 5. So we're looking for 3.5, which is which letter? B. Okay, which of the following expressions results in a negative 8? So you got to work out all of these. If it's a whole number, you need to make sure you change it to a fraction. How can I change negative 16 into a fraction? What's on the bottom? Evan Gabriel. What's on the bottom? If I do 2 and I divide it, that'll be negative 8, right? I want it to be, if I divide it, I still get negative 16. So what should I put? Okay, let's see. If I put 8, 8 goes to negative 16 how many times? Is that the same as negative 16? No, so it's not 8. What could I put on the bottom to where it's still negative 16? You want to try again? Very good. Now 1 goes to negative 16 times. You see that? So it's the same thing. We're going to multiply by 1 over 2. Okay, what is negative 16 times 1? Negative 16. What is 1 times 2? 2. Okay? So, Luke, 2 goes to negative 16 how many times? So would you say this is an answer or not an answer? Luke. Okay, so A is equivalent, which means the same as negative 8. Go to B. You have negative 0.5 times negative 16. How do I change this into a fraction? So this decimal is in which spot? We just did something like this. So it'd be negative 5 over 10 times negative 16 over what? 1. So we change everything to a fraction. Now if you don't want to do it with fractions and multiply across, there's another way to do it. You could say 16 times 0.5 and work it out this way. So there's 2 ways to do it. Which one do you want to see? Which one's easier, the fraction one or the decimal? Okay, 5 times 6, guys. 30. Carry the 3. 5 times 1. Plus 3. 8. Okay, so what is this? So this has 1 space right here. 1 to the right, which means what? So 1 decimal point over. So 8.0. But it's a positive. Is this an answer then? Look what we need to find. Is that the same? No. What's the negative times negative? Positive. Okay, C. Make sure you're copying this. C. Negative 2 over 4 times 16 over 1. Multiply across. What is 2 times 16? 2 times 16. What is 4 times 1? 4. What's the negative times the positive? Negative. 4 goes to negative 32 how many times? Negative 8. Is this the solution or not? Okay, circle C. D, 1/3 times negative 0.5. 1/3 times negative 0.5. So there's 2 ways to do this. You can change this to a decimal and then do decimal times decimal, or fraction times a fraction. Since we already did a decimal here, multiplying it, we're going to do fraction times a fraction. So we have 1/3. 1/3 times negative what? Isaiah, how do I change this to a fraction? Isaiah. 1 over 2, very good. Or you could put 5 over, because it's in what spot? Very good. So 5 over 10. We'll do that one. What is 1 times negative 5? What is 3 times 10? Isaiah? Yeah. So 1 times negative 5? Okay, 30 on the bottom. Very good. Does this look like it's even going to be close to negative 8? No, because it would have to be 30 over 30, or a negative 30 over 30 just to equal negative 1, right? So it's definitely not close to negative 8. Okay, go ahead and get a red vine, Luke and Isaiah. Okay, next one. State or select all statements that are true. Okay, so we're going to pause it here at 2 minutes till the bell rings. Okay, select all statements that are true. So we have negative 9.3 plus negative 3.4. So we have to think of what is the operation. So the operation here, what operation are we dealing with?
Addition.
Addition. Okay. So that's important because you need to know which rules you're talking about. What about this one?
Subtraction.
What about this one?
Subtraction.
What about this one?
Subtraction.
Now, the reason why I point that out is because if you think of positive times a positive is a positive, are you accessing the right rules?
No.
No. So if you have this and if they are the same sign, what do you notice if the signs are the same? They equal what?
A positive number.
Ooh. So that's a good way to memorize it. If it's the same sign and you're multiplying, it's positive. Now, if it's a positive times a negative and a negative times a positive, what do you notice about that?
They're different signs. They're all negative numbers. But they're different.
Okay.
The two numbers are different.
So what would you say a different equals?
A negative.
All right. But this is multiplication, so we got to go with adding. So if I add a negative plus a negative, what do you get? Negative all the time. That will never change, right? You're just counting how many things you owe, how many bad guys there are, right? A lot of different ways of thinking of it, yeah.
Could we do keep change?
When do you use keep, change, change?
Subtraction.
When it is subtraction. So yes, you can. Now, what if you're doing a positive plus a negative?
No. Then that can equal positive or negative.
How big the negative or
Which is
positive is.
the biggest?
So it depends on which has more. So we need to, listen up, look up here. We need to make sure we are picking the right concepts, because if you go with multiplication right away, then you're going to get this wrong. So if I have a negative plus a negative, is it going to be a positive number or a negative? Now, if you forget, and it's the decimals that are messing you up, how many are just confused about the decimal part? A little bit? So look at this. Can you round? What's negative 9.3?
Negative 9.
Negative 9. What is negative 3.4 rounded?
Negative 3.
So negative 9 plus negative 3 equals?
Negative.
Negative
Wait.
Negative 11, 12.
12. There we go. Was it a positive number?
No.
No, so is A an answer?
No.
No, we are looking for true statements. Statements that are true. Now, since it says all, am I done here?
No.
No, I have to make sure that there's not more I can circle. Next one. What I do if it's subtraction? Raise your hand.
Keep change.
No. Raise your hand for a red vine. Hands down. Hands down. 3, 2, 1, go.
Keep change.
Keep, change. Go ahead and get a red vine. So we're going to do keep, change. Could you help me out with this part too? What would you put for keep?
You put negative 1/3 for keep.
Okay, negative 1/3. What about the change?
You change that to addition.
Change this to
A negative.
negative 2 and 3 over 4. You have a negative plus a negative. Is it going to be a positive answer or a negative?
A negative.
A negative. So is this true or false?
I mean, true.
True. So B is an answer. Next one. When do you use keep, change? Raise your hand. Tristan. When you are subtracting, can we use it here?
Yes.
Okay, so help me out, Tristan, on this one. So we're going to use keep, change. Keep this the same. Change this to what? Addition. Change the negative 3 to a positive 3. What's 3 plus 3?
6.
6. Very good. If you got this wrong, I should see you copying this on your notes. Is this a true statement? It says it equals
No.
0.
Oh,
No. Okay, last one. Last one. So we gotta do what? Maddie.
Keep, change, around. Well,
Okay.
you do both.
So we could do keep, change,
Or
Okay.
round.
or round. Alright, let's first round. So negative 13.4 is,
Negative 13.
minus 2.25 is.
Negative 2.
Okay, now do you keep, change on this one?
Positive 13. Negative 13. Addition and negative 2.
Very good. What does this equal?
Negative 15.
Negative 15. So what we did was we first rounded it, and then after it was rounded, then we did keep, change. That makes it a lot easier, because now we don't do that for every problem. Why are we doing it on this one? What are we trying to find out? If the answer is a
Positive or negative.
positive or a negative. So I'm making it a lot simpler because we just round it now, instead of doing lining up decimals and everything like that. So was this a negative number?
Yes.
Yes. So your answer, you should have wrote B, D. Okay, next one. Which of the following expressions are equivalent to 3 over 4? You should be copying this one down quickly. So 3 over 4. You can just copy these as if they're separate problems and work them out. So you have 2 over 4 minus negative 1 over 4. Yes. Yeah, I'm going to solve it right now. So since the denominators are the same, I want you to notice how I'm going to rewrite this. You see how it says 2 minus negative 1? All right, I'm going to write this is equal to 2 minus negative 1 all over what?
4.
4. Now, is this, or what's the operation?
Subtraction.
Which means, Andrew, what does that mean? If you see subtraction, you do what? Very good. So we're going to do KCC, keep, change. So we're going to say keep the 2 as a 2. Andrew, finish it off. Subtract. And then what's this last part? All right. 2 plus 1 over 4. This is equal to 3 over 4. Please notice how I rewrite this as 2 minus negative 1. I highlight that. And then I just throw the denominator underneath. Does that make sense, the notation?
Yes.
Okay. So now in this next one, I'm going to do the same thing. In my head, I'm highlighting this, or in your head when you're on your test. Or you could just take your pencil and group it like this. Okay. So 2 minus 1 all over what? 4. Now, could you tell me 2 minus 1 what it is?
1.
That's
1. Now, if you did keep, change, would you be wrong?
Yes.
Let's check. Can I still get 1 as the answer? This
Yeah.
would be 2 plus negative 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would still get 1. So it's an extra step, but you can still do it. So this is 1 over 4 is your answer. Next one. You have negative 2 minus 1. Negative 2 minus 1 all over 4 equals, what should I do? Keep, change. Andrew, come up and get a red vine. Maddie, did you get one? You want one? Okay, so now you're going to do keep, change. Oh, let me undo those. Go back a little bit. So change the subtraction to addition. Change the 1 to a negative. And all over 4. This becomes negative 3 over 4. You want me to redo that part? Oh, come on up. Here, let me move the red vines over here so it's not in anyone's way. Okay, so this is negative 3 over 4. Next one. How do I change the 1 to where it has the 4 on the denominator, but if I divide it, I still have 1? Ayana, you want to try this? What? Ayana, you could try it. What should I put on the top to where when I divide it, it equals 1? Alright, so let's see. If I put 1 here, 1 over 4, right? Think about quarters, right? This would only be 25 cents. I want to get to $1, $1. How many quarters do I need to get to $1? 4. What is 4 divided by 4? 1. So you change the 1 into a 4 over 4. Now, rewrite the rest. You should be able to just work it out. So let's highlight this part. 4 minus negative 1. Write it as 1. 4 minus negative 1. You're copying this down as we go. It's subtraction. Connor, what should we do if it's subtraction? Keep, change, change. Very good. So this becomes 4 plus 1 all over 4. What's 4 plus 1 over 4? 5 over 4. Okay, let's go back over. Which ones had 3 over 4 as the correct answer? So this one and any others? No, so A is your only answer here. Okay, this one, what were you supposed to do to get the answer? Add all of them together. So you should have 3 plus 1. So the whole numbers, 3 plus 1, that equals 4. Now the fractions for 1 over 4, 1/2 was first up here. 3 over 4, and then 3 over 4. Have 1 more minute. Change this 1/2 by multiplying by 2 top and bottom. This becomes 2 over 4. Are we good with that?
Yeah.
Add it together now. And you will get 9 over 4. 6 here, 7, 8, 9 over 4. And then add the 4. So 4 and 9 over 4, but you got to make it to where it's all a mixed number or whole. So 4 goes to 9 how many times? 2. So we have 4 plus 2 and 1 over 4 now, which gives you 6 and 1 over 4. Or multiply here, add here. This is 25 over 4 should be your answer.
I got that one wrong on the practice test, and then when it said the answer, it said like it had 6, 1, 4, 6, and
Okay, we have negative 3 over 7 here, plus 3 over 7 here. These are fractions, they go together. Since one's positive, one's negative, they will cancel to be 0. You have 0.5 here and negative 0.5 here. Since they are decimals, they go together and they cancel to be 0. What's 0 plus 0?
0.
0 is your answer. So this is the idea of 0 pairs continued, but now with 4 terms.